I want to take you back to a time 25 years ago when I started working for a luxury car company. You see, I'm a civil engineer. I was hired by Mercedes-Benz to expand their high-end parking lot. This parking facility was going to be upgraded with infrared cameras, fancy high-tech computer software, and fortified fencing. After the design is completed, we usually have a builder's meeting before the construction begins. We're gathered in a room, and the meeting is about to begin. I start by calling the meeting to order, and I'm interrupted by a burly-looking man, the builder, who says, "Excuse me, but we're still waiting for the engineer to get here." I say, "I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I am the engineer." 25 years ago, I was the anomaly in the engineering industry. Just being a woman in engineering, let alone being Asian, a minority, was rare. In 2018, McKinsey & Company did a study about women in the workplace and found that women were significantly underrepresented, and the situation was worse the higher up the corporate ladder. In fact, in the corporate suite, what we like to call the C-suite, there are only 19% of white women compared to 68% of men, but worse for women of color who represent only 4%. Imagine that for a moment. That's as if 100 of you were to take an exam, and if only 4 of you were allowed to pass, even though all of you had the same credentials. Does that put things into perspective? Let's address the issue. What causes this decline? Why am I talking to you about this today? So why aren't there enough women in STEM? Let's start with some facts. Fewer women enter the STEM program. The Society for Women Engineers tells us that in 10 years, the percentage of women who pursue a STEM degree has gone up by only 3%. So STEM programs do not attract enough women. Now let's look at the workforce once you graduate. After earning their degree, less than a third of women work as engineers for more than 20 years, and only 13% of women overall are engineers. So I want you to understand what this feels like. Let's do a simple visualization exercise. All the male students in this room, please close your eyes. Imagine walking into an all-girls only event. You're surrounded by girls of all ages. You're not sure if you belong. They stare at you for a second, but then go back to what they're doing. Everybody there knows what they're working on. They're friends with each other, and they're conversing and accepting of each other. They are the same gender, and there's a sense of comfort because of their similarities. They welcome you, though. They teach you. You work together. You challenge each other. You enjoy the interactions, but you always wonder if there could be more people that look like you, because you are the only one. Now, imagine you have to walk into that environment every day. That was my world. The second question is, why else do women leave the profession? Well, many reasons. The most obvious one is to raise families. Listen, if science could figure out how men could have babies, we wouldn't leave. But women become the caregivers and nurturers of their families and are the first to sacrifice their careers. So that puts them behind in their career paths as well. And organizations have only recently begun to support women coming back into the workforce after leaving to raise their families. Much more needs to be done. Additionally, female engineers earn less than their male counterparts, up to 90 cents on the dollar. Let's do the calculations. A man, fresh out of college, receives a starting salary of $70,000, and a woman, comparably, receives 10% less, so she starts at $64,800. Now, considering an average 3% annual increase and assuming she will take up to 5 years off to raise a family, do you know how much a woman will lose in wages over a 40-year lifetime career? Hold your breath for this one. $1.6 million. But let's say that women decide to stay in the field and be strong and are really passionate about their work. Look at the adversity they face. A 2018 study called Women in the Workplace in association with Lean In organization found that women faced more microaggressions on a regular basis than men did, and that these negative experiences added up, resulting in women leaving their jobs. These studies show that women have to provide evidence of their competencies twice as much as men do. So let's put this into context. Imagine being a girl in math class, and twice a week the teacher asks you to prove you didn't cheat on your homework. However, the boys in the classroom only get asked once a week to prove their honesty. This creates an uphill battle for many women in multiple situations which are quite complex to overcome. So, why am I still standing here today? Why didn't I give up the profession when I had my children 18 years ago? I could have become one of those statistics. Let me give you a few more facts before I answer that question. There's a business case why it's so critical to have diversity in the workplace. Companies are 3 times likely to be high performing when there is diversity in their workforce, and they are 8 times more likely to achieve better business outcomes. What does this mean? Let me make this tangible for you. Remember before when I said only 4 of you could pass an exam? What if 8 times as many of you could now pass an exam because you have both men and women in the classroom? Same thing is true in the workplace. The possibilities are endless for innovation, ideas, and success when you bring people of different backgrounds and gender together. So, why didn't I quit in the face of adversity? Well, I was the anomaly, but you don't have to be. You are the solution. You will be the decision makers in what our workplace looks like tomorrow. You will change the canvas of the gender gap by recognizing how crucial it is to support each other through your academic, personal, and professional growth. I'm here today, so you won't have to be the anomaly tomorrow. And now that I'm here, I contemplate on the kind of leader I strive to be. And what can you do to be the solution to the gender gap? I offer you this. Be an inclusive leader. Look at your friendship circle. Does everybody look like you? Or do you have diversity in the people you surround yourself with? I encourage you to interact with others that you would not normally hang out with. Be accepting of people that are different from you. Open up your social circle, and you will be amazed at how many new things you will learn from each other. Yes, there will be some feelings of discomfort initially, but I guarantee you will make some long-lasting friendships. Challenge the accepted. This is one of the astounding ways you will grow. Don't surrender to what you already know. Question the boundaries. Be curious about why something is the way it is. Ask yourself if it can be improved. Can it be made more efficient? Is there a better way? What can you do to change the outcome so that I am not the anomaly, but women in the workforce are the norm? I challenge you to find the solution. Lastly, don't aim for perfection. Aim for excellence. I have had amazing mentors throughout my career. You know, engineers try to be perfect. It's in our training by default. All the math has to work out with the right answers. The forces have to equalize when you do your physics calculations. The chemistry equations have to balance. You know exactly what I mean. One mentor always said to me, in everything you do, don't try to be perfect. Aim for excellence. I have followed that advice, whether in my personal life, my academic endeavors, or in my professional pursuits. It's okay to make mistakes. Learn from them. But in everything you do, give it your best. Put your passion into it so it reflects who you are and represents your gold standard. I want to leave you with one thought-provoking question. Will you be the anomaly or the generation that solves the STEM gender gap in the workplace? Thank you.